Hi, I'm Mariah Viola, and today I've chosen to talk about the most recent paper we turned in, which was paper number 5 on charismatic and visionary leaders. I chose this because I found it really interesting that based on the leader's intentions, they can have a really different impact on the country or company or wherever they're leading. They can, in the examples I use, they can revolutionize an industry or they can bring the entire world to war. So I'll start off by telling what each kind of leader is. A visionary leader is able to look beyond its basic mission and push the company and employees to new levels and really push innovation. They're builders of the new dawn and they create the future in the industry. The charismatic leader will be able to come into a company or country and make drastic changes for the better or worse and maintain the approval among their peers. Part of this has to do with their communication skills and how they lead everyone. As opposed to coming in as an authority figure, they'll come in with more attributes of charm and personality. So for my first example, I have chosen to talk about Steve Jobs as a visionary leader. I chose him because I felt that his mark on the technology industry is really uncomparable, and he did create the future in communication. Although at first, when he started Apple, he was not very successful, he sold his shares and went to Pixar. And after his huge levels of success with Toy Story, he returned to Apple to create the products that we know and love today. These products being the iPod, the iPhone, and the iPad. There are some traits that a visionary leader must have, which include being observant, never giving up, the ability to transform, provide feedback, and create daily operation systems. Being unwilling to follow basic trends, Steve Jobs really did create the future of the products. He created a need for a product that didn't even exist yet, and he knew the future of technology and stuck to his plan, which brought himself, the company, and his employees to greatness and made them one of the wealthiest companies in the world. As an example of a charismatic leader, I chose to write about Adolf Hitler to kind of look at everything in a different way. We're all familiar with who he is and what he's done, and all the horrible things that he did leading up to and during World War II. But what's also true about him is he was a really charismatic leader who was able to bring people together and created a huge following in a fairly short amount of time. When he was in prison, he wrote Mein Kampf, and when he was released, he had already started to gain a pretty big following. His following grew while he was in prison, and he was able to establish a Nazi party and soon become Chancellor of Germany. He was able to share his thoughts and views with the people of Germany through massive propaganda campaigns, and they were mostly geared towards anti-Semitism. He was able to understand the people he was leading, and he really played at their weaknesses. He remained true to his beliefs, and he remained extremely confident, and this confidence really grew as his acceptance grew with the people of Germany. And while he was in rule, the German economy was really thriving. People had more jobs, they were making more money, they had new roads, there was a lot of improvements, but he was still managing to wreak havoc over his entire country and the surrounding countries. But at that point, I guess he had gained so much power that there was no really going back, and he had also gained the trust of a lot of people as well. So this really shows that with bad intentions, how much a charismatic leader can really do. They were both leaders were really influential and had a huge impact on the world in very different ways. But with the wrong intentions, as Hitler had, he was able to do a lot of harm. So I feel that it's really important for leaders to really understand what their goals are and to continue to work towards that goal in the most positive way they can. Again, I'm Mariah Viola, and thank you for listening.